Hi, here we have our start of chapter 18, which talks about some of the basic fundamentals with regard to what cost accounting is about. I'm setting my timer here to make sure I don't go over. So they talk about direct material, direct labor, and overhead. These are the three things that go into product cost. Cost of the production portion, and then anything else that is selling and administration is what is called a period cost, meaning that it goes in and is expensed during the period that it has been incurred. That's why it's called period cost. So I put together this grid here for direct material, direct labor, and overhead under product cost, and selling and administration under period cost. And we have a problem here that comes right out of Canvas. This is a manufacturing example. Ann Taylor, which is a apparel manufacturer, and we have these different expenses, and you're supposed to classify them whether they fall under product or period cost, and if so, what subcategory does it fall under. I'm going to let you guys put this on pause so that this picture's sitting out there in front of you, and try your hand at it. So I'll take a few minutes here and let you guys work on it, and then come back and we'll finish it. Okay, so by now you should be already done. So let's take a look. Sales commission is something that is a cost to the company, but it does not have anything to do with manufacturing the product. Okay, so it's going to be over here in period cost, and it's going to be a selling item. Okay, so it's going to be, it'll fall under selling. Advertising expense, same thing, that goes hand in hand along with selling. Fabric used during production, well, that's a direct material, folks. So letter C is going to fall under direct material as a product cost. Property taxes on factory building and equipment. Now, I want you to understand something. Property tax can be hit on the factory, and it also can be hit on the corporate headquarters. The corporate headquarters would be administration or selling, okay? But this is factory building, so it falls under production cost. So you have property tax in both cases, but you have to read the fine print. This is a factory, okay? This is not the corporate headquarters. And since it's not directly tied to any particular product, we're going to put it under overhead. Depreciation on sewing machines, that's going to be on the factory floor, so that's going to be overhead because it's not going to be tied to any specific product. Factory janitorial supplies, again, this is in the factory, and it's going to fall under overhead because it can't be tied to any particular product. Depreciation on office equipment, well, this implies right here, this is a corporate headquarters, and so it's going to fall over here under administration. So letter G is going to be, and it could be selling, you know, it could be either one, but we're going to put it under administration. Wages of sewing machine operators. This is the direct labor, because these are the people doing the sewing. Repair and maintenance costs for sewing machines, that's going to be overhead because it's not tied to any particular item. I'll scooch this thing down here. Letter J, salary of production quality control supervisor. Well, that's the person in charge of everything. So that's going to fall under overhead, letter J. After letter J, letter K is salaries of distribution center personnel. And this is interesting. Distribution center personnel, the first thing that you think of is, well, that might be a production thing because we're actually sending it off to the companies, to the different retail stores. But this is actually a selling function. The distribution center personnel, this is part of what salespeople do. Their job is to get the product out to the customer. So letter K is going to be period cost and is going to fall under selling. That's a little bit of a tricky one, okay? Letter L, research and development cost. Well, it certainly is not production, even though we're researching material and designs and stuff like that. But research development is going to fall under administration over here, okay? Next, oil used to lubricate the sewing machines. That's going to fall under the factory, and that's going to be overhead. Corporate controller salary, well, that guy's going to be in the corporate headquarters, so it's going to be administration. Letter O, utility cost of office building. So again, folks, utility cost of the office building, read the fine print, because you do have utility costs for the factory as well. They both have utility costs. So if this is for the office building, we'll put that under administration. It could also be for selling, but we're going to throw it all under administration for now. Letter P, travel costs of salespersons. Well, that's a selling expense under period cost. And then factory supervisor salary. Factory supervisor is in the factory. In fact, his office is in the factory, probably on the second floor. And that's going to be an overhead because we can't tie his cost to any particular product. Folks, I hope this makes things a little bit clearer about direct material, direct labor, and overhead falling under product cost and what falls under period cost. You can have things like depreciation expense fall under both areas. You can have utility, tax, property tax, all that can fall under both areas. So you really have to read the fine print to make sure you see what is really tied to the factory and what is really tied to the corporate headquarters or the main office, okay, administrative offices. Thank you very much for your time.